Hi everyone, Mike Groves here with the Florida Trail Stompers. Today we're going to talk about doing a differential fluid change on a Jeep JL. Why is this important? Well, here in Florida we go through a lot of water, you get a lot of muck and a lot of nastiness, and if you're wheeling really hard, you're putting a lot of stress on that fluid underneath there. So we're going to talk about the diff cover and the diff fluid. Now again, this is strictly for the Jeep JL. If you have a JK, one of the other trail bosses should be putting together something for you here pretty soon. Now that we're underneath the Jeep, you'll notice that this isn't the factory cover. This cover right here is made by Dana Spicer. And the main reason for replacing these is these on the factory are very, very thin. And they can damage really easily. You'll also notice that there's some cooling fins right here, but these fins do a lot more than just keep the rear end cool. These right here also protect these bolt heads. If you were backing into a rock or some kind of a structure, these fins are going to divert the rock or whatever it is over or under the back of the rear end here. And you can see mine is taking a couple hits there, but if you notice, all the bolt heads are still very much intact, and the chances of actually ripping one of these off is actually really, really low. So let's go around the other side of this rear differential and we'll talk about how do you drain it and what else you can do. One important thing to realize about the JL while we're down here is that when you take this cover off, there is a rubber gasket that goes all the way around. So if you want to replace the diff cover on your Jeep JL, it's really simple. You unbolt it and you reuse the rubber seal that's in here and you bolt on the new cover. There's no more using the nasty, messy RTV or any of that kind of silicone. It's just a reusable seal. So let's go around to the driver's side and we'll look at the drain plug. Alright, now we've moved to the front side of the rear differential. Right here is all you need in order to drain this. Put a 3/8 in here and let's go get our oil pan. Let's go ahead and drain this out. So as we're draining this, we're going to take a look at the color that's coming out. Hopefully it's not a milky color, which would indicate there's water or something that shows that there's some sludge. And we're going to want to take a look really close here at this drain plug. This is going to be magnetic. Now that's one of the things that differentiates the top plug from the bottom plug, is that the bottom one's going to be magnetic. And we're going to take a look at this in depth to see if there's any metal shavings or anything in here that's going to be of any real concern. So little bit of sludge, it's not too bad. I've been wheeling out in Moab and out west, so I expect to see a little bit of metal shavings in here, but nothing major. So just the little pieces right in here, otherwise it's not so bad. So I've also removed or loosened the bottom fill down here. This is going to allow some more air to come in here and let this drain out. Went ahead and took the rear diff cover off because I want to explain something about the rear only. If you notice, the drain plug is up here. If you pull the rear drain plug on the JL, you're not getting everything that's sitting down in here. So what I would suggest, if you're going to do your diff fluid, go ahead and take the time and remove the rear diff cover, because the rear drain plug is not going to get all the stuff that's draining sitting in the bottom. Earlier in the video I was talking about how the new JLs have a replaceable seal. So if you're going to take the rear diff cover off and you want to replace it, it's simple as unbolting, putting the seal back in place. Of course this needs to be nice and clean, and bolting it right back down, and make sure you're using your right torque specs. You don't want to crush the seal. But this makes this super easy for any garage do-it-yourselfer to replace the rear diff cover and do a rear and front diff service. Now with the drain plug put back in, all the bolts put back on and torqued to the specs set by Mopar, it's time to go ahead and let's use the lubricant. We're going to fill it right to this line till it just starts to come out. Well, now that we're done with the back, let's go to the front. One of the questions I'm often asked is, why do I only have this red skid right here on the front? I'm about to show you why. Unlike the rear diff where the drain is on the side, the front differential drain is dead center in the bottom. The reason why I have this skid right here is that the front is very, very prone to hitting a lot of different things, rocks, roots, you name it. So protecting this is really important. So by having this skid, it allows me to protect the bottom, front, as well as protect this bolt for when I go to drain. And Rancho was nice enough to remember to drill that hole so that draining this is a piece of cake. Now, because this is in the bottom, you're not going to worry about there being anything left in the bottom of your differential when you're done. So now that you have all your fluids in, drain plugs in, when you put your drain plugs in, make sure you use some type of anti-seize. And because this is oil, you need to use the yellow Teflon tape. Do not use the white. The yellow is specifically for chemicals, gasolines, oils, that kind of thing. Torque specs. Those bolts around the outer edge, first pass, if you take it off, is at 12 pounds. The second pass going around is 30 pounds. And the drain plug for the differentials are at 25 foot-pounds. Don't forget to check your owner's manual. If you have any questions, feel free to ask myself or put it in the group. Appreciate you watching, guys.